Girls, they lied. They lied so bad. And I am one of, I think, the first people to talk about this, but they have lied so hard about how the soft life was supposed to be for us. And I think that it's worth having a conversation around this because transparently, the layers of the ways that the internet has sold ambitious women this fantasy of feminine and success where they're supposed to be rich and regulated and rested and desirable, but visible and fully booked out, spiritually aligned, going on yoga retreats to emotionally heal, and also running a business that's, crushing millions, managing a team, using AI, staying beautiful and snatched, and their skincare is like totally taken care of, totally negating the fact that, by the way, most skincare has like a 4 day to 10 day, that's worth it, recovery period, right? And somehow never feeling any pressure. That tension drives me nuts. I think that it's really important to recognize that we don't need necessarily a softer life, but in a lot of different ways, stronger operational systems. And then like the weird thing is that, we see stronger positioning systems, and then we think to ourselves, that's just not feminine. And so we walk away from it thinking that we can simplify and have more ease. And the truth is that it is frustrating because it it's almost dangerous actually, because we are a lot of times the calendar. We are a lot of times the follow-up system because it lives up here, right? We are a lot of times the closer, the accounting, the HR, the organizer, the money engine, the team's nervous system, quality control, the brand iterations, the brand scaling, and then she's exhausted, and then she thinks to herself, well, maybe I'm just not made for this. Maybe this is just not possible for me. And I think this is really, really important because this soft lie is given to a lot of ambitious women. And it's not to say that it's all or nothing either, because like ease is not, I don't think the ease is fake, but more so that no one told us that ease without infrastructure becomes another performance, because you can't receive your way out or believe your way out of a business that depends on you, your nervous system, and your control to actually function. So I think that the real flex is not necessarily being unavailable. Sorry for my double negatives there, or unbothered, or even booked out. Because I think that actually being booked out is something that men have to do, really. Because I think that men have to do it because they can't create trust within the first couple of seconds of meeting somebody. They have to they have to initiate it. Whereas a woman within the realm can initiate trust within her nervous system and create a very trusting environment. It's beautiful. So I think that the real flex is actually having a business and a team that isn't requiring you to be on 24/7 and operate it to keep it alive. Meaning, okay, great. I have a client journey when a client comes in. Okay, great. I have a process when I'm onboarding somebody. Okay, great. I have a way that people can understand inside of my operational structure. And maybe that's not sexy to put it together, nor is a content engine, but does it feel better after you're done with it? Absolutely, right? So I think that this is where like we can't help ourselves escape ambition, because I don't know about you, but like it finds me. It just completely finds me. I see something, I feel this like this deliciousness when you know that you're in your power and you know you're about to vibe. I got goosebumps, girls. Like, come on, seriously. So like I think that being able to help women build the infrastructure to actually lean into their business and actually know that the business has enough strength for them to actually swing around and be able to dance with it is the money, baby. And I'm not talking about um, the ways that it has to be completely rigid. I don't believe in that. I think it needs to be in the in between because I think both are actually correct. And so I think that this soft lie is given to us because maybe it gave us aesthetics instead of architecture. And really, I'm not sure. So what I would say is that, yes, everyone is telling powerful women, rest, even ChatGPT and Claude, rest, receive, regulate. Please sit the heck down. Right? Because no one is asking the real question of why does your business fall apart the moment you stop over functioning? And this is the other thing, that costume of like everything is easeful is such a to everything that we've been fighting for, right? And it's a pretty way to say, I do want relief, but relief without systems is not something that is going to actually hold you. Yeah, you can book another massage, but if you're worried about the bill when you're walking out of it, was the massage even something that you needed? You can take a vacation, but if you're worried about everything that you are swiping about, is it actually a vacation? Because this is where women know plenty of information about trips. We know about trips. We don't need another trip. We want a vacation. We want a space where we can journal and breathe and regulate and stand on our head. Absolutely. But we still want to be able to come back to a business that has peace instead of coming back to a business that needs you to bleed for it. Like we need another one of those things, really. So I think that real feminine power truly is being able to not necessarily do less while resenting everybody, but maybe real feminine power is in the command, is in the standards. And I was thinking about this the other day because my grandmother was one fierce woman, let me tell you. Um, I mean, but she was also one of those women that had her sheets ironed and starched. Yes, starched. That was a thing, apparently. And she was so excited to be able to live in that. And she fought her whole life to get to that place, owning businesses with my grandfather. As a matter of fact, they owned one of the first female women's plus sized clothing businesses in the world. And they operated in New York, and it was a beautiful space. But it was also something that my grandfather was very clear on going door knocking for and hustling for. But my grandmother wielded her power in a level of command. Everybody that worked with her, nobody worked for her. Everybody worked with her. You were either with her or not. She was very, very clear about that. But if you were with her, she had a standard. She had a way of knowing exactly what success or exactly what done looked like. I remember Margaret, who was a great family friend, although I think that I think she was told to us that she was a family friend, but I really think that she was more like a family member who also looked over us who were her grandchildren. Or great, I guess she was like kind of a great aunt maybe, but she did the cleaning and the cooking and the picking up from school and all of that. Otherwise, people would forget about us. And it was not prestigious in any way, shape, or form. But when my grandmother found that, a sheet wasn't folded correctly, it wasn't something that you would be killed over. It would be something that she'd be like, hey, 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 come here. Let me show this to you. And let me explain why I like it this way instead of this way. And you can totally disagree with me if you have a better way of doing this, but here's my thought. And I really appreciated that from a very young age because being able to describe that to somebody else in my leadership for the ways that I desire them to do things. Are there days where I get very upset about how something is done because it's not done the way that I would have done it? Sure. But because I'm human. But the other side of that is having the emotional intelligence to say, hold on a second. Why did you do it that way? I'm so curious because I would love to show you my way. And if you feel that this is a better way, I respect your decision on that because I feel that you might be more of an expert than I am. And so I think that this next era of I know that this next era of business women will not be led by the most exhausted woman in the room. That's absolutely true. It will be led by the woman whose power actually has infrastructure, standards, and precision. And one of the things that I was chatting with my girls the other day around precision was to discuss the understanding that precision isn't only for yourself, it's also for your clients. Your clients really appreciate because a powerful woman without systems becomes the system that it runs on. And isn't that true in every single scenario that we already live within? Like if something isn't running in the kitchen correctly and we're like, hey, I got it, we take it over and the system literally runs on us. She can become the calendar. She can become the CRM in business, that is. She can become the follow-up. She can become the emotional support department. She can become the sales department. She can become the brand, the quality control, the cleanup crew. And then people call her burnt out. And probably, probably she is burnt out, but she's also over functioning inside of the business that she built. And it was never built to hold all of her power and all of her decisions. And I think that that's really the one right there, because if you really stop to think about it, you don't really need to escape all of your ambition. You simply have to understand that softness without these standards or containment becomes a way that we further self-abandon ourselves. Because in the scenario in which we're taking over in the kitchen, we have 14 other things that we would rather be doing. Let's be very clear about that. So the fact that we have to do one more thing does not come into our hearts of like, oh, it's okay, baby, I got this. We're not like having our dresses pulled up by songbirds and, oh my goodness, thank you, you saved me, or I can save you. No, we have this frustration about it, and then we're called moody or upset or aggressive. And this is where I think that we have to stop being the women that hold everything in advocacy for this next generation. Because the woman that holds everything is somebody who isn't able to be in her power. Because the woman whose empire holds her is the woman that she wants to become. She wants to feel the richness of the fact that somebody else can handle dinner. And ladies, I'm not really talking about dinner. I'm not talking about dinner at all, actually. I'm talking about like stuff inside the business that makes you eat, right? Powerful women don't need to be less ambitious. They need to stop being the infrastructure for everybody else. We do this all day in every single way. And I think this is so important to be able to actually see these layers in the ways that we are operating. So, no, automation is not masculine. And no, systems are not masculine. Structure is what allows feminine to actually start to blossom and expand. So I'll have you think about that. And if you are a woman that is on a mission to actually grow her business into the next arena, we help female coaches and consultants who are making between 20 to 30K per month get upwards to 100K per month. I am on a mission to create 50 new female millionaires. If you are that type of woman and you are a woman who just needs an understanding of how to build this infrastructure, please shoot me a message and or book a call right below here. There is a link down there, and I am not somebody that's over scripted or going to tell you some sort of story. I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm going to find out if we're right for each other. And if we are not, I'm going to refer you someplace else and bless you on your way and or give you a roadmap that is going to help you get to the next level. So ladies, let's do this and let's unite in power. Nobody's taking it away from us this era.